If this stirred something inside you, prove it, like it, mark it, and return, because this is just the beginning. The Hollow Carnival. Part 1. The Ribbons and the Red Moon. The night it appeared, the moon was a deep, seeping crimson, more wound than light. Finch noticed it while sitting on the rusted fire escape of his grandmother's apartment, his knees tucked close and his chin resting on the bone of his wrist. The world felt quieter than usual, like it was waiting. Then the cat came. It was not a cat, not truly. Its body rippled like fabric in the wind, stitched from old ribbons, faded blues, blood reds, velvet blacks, and its eyes glowed candle yellow, wax dripping with each blink. It padded across the alley without sound, tail flicking in that way cats do when they know they're being followed. Finch was the kind of boy who rarely slept and never dreamed. The other children called him Empty Eyes because nothing ever danced behind them. But when he saw the ribbon cat pause beneath the chain-link fence and glance back, something in him stirred, like the skeleton of a forgotten dream twitching under years of dust. He followed, past the crumbling church, over the dry creek bed, into the fields where no grass grew anymore. And there it was, the carnival. It did not look built. It looked grown. Spindly towers like antlers, tents that shivered in the wind like breathing lungs, lights flickering in patterns that didn't quite follow logic. A calliope wheezed a song with no key, a dirge for things not yet dead. Finch stepped onto the withered grass, and the moment he did, the air changed, thicker, sweet like rotting candy apples, warm like a fever, and around him, other children emerged, silent, entranced, barefoot. Their faces held that same emptiness, the same absence of dream. The ribbon cat darted forward and vanished under the nearest tent flap. Finch followed, heart thudding a rhythm not quite his own. Inside, the tent pulsed with color and wrongness. Mirrors lined the walls, bending reflections like truths whispered in reverse. And at the center stood a girl, no older than Finch, wearing a dress spun from moth wings and twilight. "You came late," she said. Her voice was soft, but her words hit like bells in fog. Finch stared. "Who are you?" She smiled, crooked and knowing. "The one who remembers. And if you want to leave with your soul, you'll need to remember too." The mirrors around them began to move, their glass rippling like water. And in each pane, Finch saw a version of himself, but none were quite right. The carnival had begun to feed. Part 2. The Games of Forgetting. The carnival lived on memory. It devoured the edges first, the name of a pet, the scent of a favorite meal, the feel of your mother's voice. Then it feasted inward, towards your name, your face, yourself. Each tent was a trap. Finch wandered through a house of ladders that climbed into clouds made of cotton teeth. A carousel of voices spun him through phrases he once spoke, but the tones were twisted, wrong, accusatory. At the game booths, you didn't win prizes, you lost secrets. A ball tossed into a jack-o'-lantern mouth cost him the sound of his own laughter. A ring thrown onto a horned bottle erased the shape of his brother's face. With each step, he forgot who he was. But the girl with the moth-wing dress followed, always just behind, humming tunes that stitched fragments back together. She never entered the tents. She watched. "Why are you helping me?" he asked once, near the tunnel of eyes. "Because you can end it," she replied. "And what?" "The hunger, the carnival, me, Part 3, the heart of the hollow." They reached the center by dawn's approach, though no sun pierced the sky, only a light like dying embers. At the core stood a giant music box, its gears groaning, its melody endless. Children moved around it in circles, hands linked, eyes blank. Their shadows did not match their movements. "That is the heart," the girl whispered. "It beats because we let it. Each child that forgets feeds it. Each memory devoured oils its gears." Finch looked closer. The key turning the box was made of ribbon. The ribbon cat sat atop it, purring. "How do we stop it?" Finch asked. "You must remember who you were before the dreams died," she said. Before the world dulled you, he stepped forward. The cat hissed. The children hissed. Finch closed his eyes and tried to remember, tried to see not with eyes but with soul. He remembered the sound of rain on glass, the smell of autumn on his brother's scarf, the warmth of a bedtime story. He remembered hope. He opened his eyes, and the key unraveled. The music box sputtered, screamed. The children collapsed, gasping. The carnival shook. The girl smiled and began to fade. "Wait," he cried. "I was part of the hunger, a memory made to keep it alive. You freed me." And then she was gone. The carnival peeled apart like wet paper in rain. Finch stood alone in the empty field. The moon was no longer red, but when he reached into his pocket, he found a single moth wing and a faint flickering tune that would never quite leave his heart.